Cái gì cần lắm quá. Tự nhiên biến 2 phút cuối cùng vậy.
One second.
Chỉnh cái nhìn nhỏ chỉnh cho cô nó chịu chút xíu đi.
Chỉnh rồi, xong rồi. Đúng rồi.
Cái cục đó nó nằm ngay ở trong cái microphone.
Chỉnh xong rồi, được hết rồi đó.
Nghe được không?
Dạ được.
Vô hết chưa? Không. Dạ không vô hết chưa? Cô Tú đâu?
Có.
Chủ nhà đâu? Xin phép mọi người cả nhà cho mình nói bằng tiếng Anh trước ha, rồi cái
mình sẽ đi với con người tiếng Anh
trước rồi xong cái không giờ ra tiếng Việt chút xíu nhưng mà cũng nói lẹ rồi anh nói nhiều.
It's okay. Everybody here understand.
Okay. Chắc là phải nói lớn một chút xíu. Nhỏ nhỏ. So I'll be speaking in English first and then I'll be translating into Vietnamese. Okay, just paraphrasing. Good. That's good. Okay. So remembering David. Hello and thank you for coming and celebrating as we gather together.
Không để gần như mấy người nữa.
Giờ hùng đây là nó nè, nhưng mà chắc phải gần chút xíu.
Để gần cho nhau.
Chút xíu. Okay. Here we go again. Restart. Hello and thank you for gathering together this evening to celebrate David and to share in the gratitude of how our life has been having spent time with him. So my name is Donna. In Vietnamese is Huong, but also known as Donna. I'm one of the many of David's dedicated students from near and far. I was nervous when Du asked me to speak this evening because I know for sure that there's no words that will be enough to express how we all feel about what David meant to us and the impact of him not having been here in physical form has been impacting our lives for the last 2 years. And I'm sure the last 2 years has been not long enough to reflect, but long enough for us to every single day to feel the hole that has been missing in our lives, in our hearts, and in our memories of having him in our lives. First of all, how can I sum it up in words enough to express how I feel about having known David in my life and how he has impacted me as his student, as a friend, and he is more than just a teacher to me. He was more like a mentor, a teacher that I can counsel, and a mentor I could confide in, and as a friend, we could just sit around, shit around, and joke around a lot. So he impacted me in so many ways that I feel there's a hole in my heart missing that will never be whole again. However, that hole has been filled with wonderful memories, wonderful lessons I learned from him, and I continue to allow those lessons to transpire into my teaching every day. Xin thưa quý cả nhà là từ khi mà thầy mất tới bây giờ trong vòng 2 năm rồi đó thì trong cái thời gian 2 năm đó cứ mỗi ngày khi mà đỡ đầu đi dạy đó thì tôi cảm thấy là giống như mình cảm thấy hãnh diện với lại rất là biết ơn cái câu ơn mà thầy dành cho mình, mà không phải là thầy thôi mà giống như là một người cha. Khi mà hồi xưa đó trong cái thời gian mà Covid dịch hay là thời gian mà mình trải qua trong cuộc sống rất là nhiều khó khăn về sức khỏe hay là cuộc sống thì cũng nhờ có thầy chỉ dạy hay là cho những cái ý kiến để mà giúp cho cái cuộc sống của mình nó thanh thản hơn, đóng góp nhiều cái cuộc sống của mình rất là nhiều. Trong khi cho nên mỗi lần khi mà mình dạy mình lúc nào cũng tự nhớ đến thầy mỗi ngày. Thì cho nên cái câu chuyện mà ví dụ như bây giờ mình đang nói khi cô Tú nhờ mình đứng lên phát biểu hay nói vài câu thì mình cũng thấy là mình có nói thì thầy David là người làm rất là tốt, cùng thầy được rất nhiều người học sinh, rất là nhiều người đồng nghiệp gần xa rất là quý mến. David was many things. He was first and foremost a loving husband to both. He always cared and worried about her many times. He expressed that to me. And he was a very good teacher, very gentle, very humble, gentle, very generous in sharing his knowledge. He never held anything back, anything that he could do to help others to improve their lives, he would. And whether he didn't know, he would take his time to research, to help. He was a father figure to me, and a friend that really impacted my life. He was a good father to chaos, to the many cats. And he and his father had a very quiet, respectful relationship, which was very rare. So throughout the years of his health, I had the novelty to visit with him, and he was very humble in the way of sharing his thoughts. And one time, during one of the conversations, I had asked him when he was recovering from surgery about what was on his mind at the time, that he couldn't do a lot of physical movements or yoga. And he shared with me that he took his time to research a lot on polyvagal research and neuroscience, and the second thing was always on his mind was how to contribute to society even more, into the world, to be more helpful, to be more of service of others. Trong thời gian mà thầy bị bệnh đang là hồi phục sau khi mổ á, thì mình có cơ hội tới thăm thầy thì nói chuyện với thầy, thì lúc đó thời gian đó thầy không có tập được yoga, không có dạy được yoga, cho nên chỉ là lo giữ gìn sức khỏe. Thì mình có cơ hội hỏi thăm thầy, và thời gian đó thầy suy nghĩ nhiều hơn là có cơ hội tập với lại dạy, thì thầy suy nghĩ những cái gì. Thì một trong những cái thứ mà thầy thường suy nghĩ tới là lúc nào cũng muốn học tập để mà tham khảo, xem xét lên trên mạng để mà có thể giúp ích được cho xã hội nhiều hơn. Với lại lúc nào thầy cũng quan tâm cái cách dạy của mình, là muốn lúc nào cách dạy của mình cũng có thể giúp ích cho những học sinh với lại những người đồng nghiệp khác. Because of his peaceful nature, his students and friends will miss his unexpected humors. We all agree on that sometimes we have conversations and he would just have some humors that's so out of context, so unexpected, but always carrying some sense of moral lessons that somehow unexpectedly be so valid, that we probably don't appreciate until maybe days later or months later. And I found out in the last 2 years that I still do appreciate that part of his teaching is through humor and lightness. And his nature is very peaceful. He always seeks peace in everything, in everyone, in all the teaching approach. Always has to be peaceful. I have been reflecting for the last 2 years to how his teaching has been transpired into my own teaching. And every time I come across my notes from his teaching, my heart is warm for having known him, and I am a better human being because of him. At closing, after each class, I teach yoga. So at the end of each class, when everyone was still in relaxation in Shavasana, I would sit quietly reflecting of how his words, his teaching still echoes. So I would sit quietly with my hands in my heart center in Namaste, and I would say this quietly to myself as a testament, as a reminder. Thank you, David, my teacher, my mentor, my friend, until we meet again. with you a short quote from a Native American poems collection to remember David for his peaceful nature, his love for nature, and his love for us all. Know when to seek peace, for as long as the moon shall rise, for as long as the rivers shall flow, for as long as the sun shall shine, for as long as the grass shall grow, let us have peace. Thank you.
Thank you.
Lawrence, something to add?
It's a hard act to follow.
You probably don't need this.
Maybe. You can hear me okay?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's even better than
All right. It's building. Well, speaking of David's sense of humor,
Maybe you can translate.
I do need some translation because right away I'm going to need some translation because David looked at people in how why people did things. Because when I hung around him a lot, he was always looking to see why people do things, why they do things deliberately. And one of the things he said was, people want what they want when they want it. Now, do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay, but he said, you will get that when you get it. It may not be when you want to get it. So, I knew him almost 50 years, and he helped me along the way in many ways, especially just in life choices, like, you better not do this, or you better act on this now. It was very direct, so it was sort of like a father, when you mentioned like a father figure. So he was a friend. He got me interested in doing yoga, and then becoming a yoga teacher. And the sense of humor was always unexpected. That it was like you went to the class because you better have something funny besides the yoga, because it helps lighten up when we were working very hard on whatever we were doing. So, and some of the greatest times were when we were in Mexico, when him and Margaret were teaching there, and then you had a week to really get down to things. And somebody showed me a picture of myself and some other ladies that were teaching there, and I looked at myself, that's me? That's after all that yoga and taking that break from the regular busy working life. What a difference it made. So he was huge. I went for a massage about 3 weeks ago because there was something that I needed some work on my shoulder. And the lady that was massaging, she knew David. And it was good to finally let go that to actually be able to mourn him. Like, if you're going to cry, cry. Like, but it finally came out 4 weeks ago. So it was good. Some of that connection with that lady that knew him at the same time was incredible. So there was nobody like him. So many areas that he knew about. Cars, motorcycles, he researched stuff like, when do you find time to do all these things? Like, it was so funny. Definitely missed, but we still talk about, oh yeah, David's stuff in the garage. It's like, you know, he's still there. So I'm glad I met him, and I know there's a lot of you I don't know, but you've definitely met him, so you remember lots. So I'm glad we could come to do this after the 2 years. It was a good idea too. Yeah, so thank you. Thank you.
And here I was with my script.
You did well. I liked it because you brought everything up.
I did miss out that part that he was a handyman. He was a teacher, but he was also a handyman. He loves to fix stuff. And what
Nếu mà không có ai phát biểu gì nữa thì chúng ta bắt đầu. Bắt đầu với ok.
Bác chỉ nói cả ngày không nghe được
Nói
tốt quá.
cả ngày không hết.
So I just say a little bit like yes, David Donna say and also Lauren said David like my teacher. I call him the teacher. Somehow we got along very well. He loved chocolate, and I love chocolate. And to always worry about him if he ate a lot of chocolate, it may get affected to his heart. And then we sneak out on the at the garage many times. And then I think that thing stay in my memory so long, and we had a good time to sneak out to eat chocolate behind her back. So that you know what is good, yogurt, that thing. So he's the one we can learn from him a lot of things. And then actually now he gone, but since the day he left, I never thought that he's not here. I always have him everywhere. I can see him everywhere, honestly. I told you too many times that David did not die. He just transferred from another form of human being.
Well said.
That's how I feel, but I think many people here who have him as a friend, teacher, brother, whoever, have same thought with me too. Like, so, David, can we eat now?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think that KO sum it up.
So there's a loss of food today, so have everybody enjoy it.
Okay. Yeah. So.
Thank you. We have
Have yourself.
Nè lấy cho má.
Catherine đang đi sáng giờ đi làm.
Yeah, so we have a potluck, so